Alright now everybody, how's everybody doing today? I hope y'all are doing well. Alright, now today we're going to be flying a helicopter. This here helicopter is one of my personal favorites. It's called the Bell 206. Bell is one of the most prestigious brands of helicopters, I might add, as far as I'm concerned. Well anyway, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to hit the magnetos on. First we're going to put the collective all the way down. Then we're going to hit the battery on. Hit the generator. Oh, these are the lights. Hit the battery on down here. I memorized where it was. Battery, generator, transponder. Alright, now we do the mixture rich. Spotlight on. Nice. And we do lane light on. Strobe, beacon, nav. And there you go. There you have it. Now that we got it all configured, now we're ready to get the engine started, get this baby up in the air. Alright. Alrighty. Now we got rotor span. Okay. Got everything looks good over there. Throttle governor on. We're just going to be doing some touch and goes here at Syracuse International Airport. We do the phonetic alphabet for all the letters on this here video. So I'm going to do Kilo, Sierra, Yankee, and Romeo. And that's going to be, we're at about 4,500 feet. And it's going to be the Kilo, Sierra, Yankee, Romeo. Alright. Now we're going to get our altimeter. Alright, so we got 29073. See that? 29. It's at 2959. So we're going to do 296. 297123. Alrighty, folks. Now, we got the altimeter set. So now we need to go and get our clearance for our IFR today. Okay, hold in effect. No, we're just going to go ahead and take off then. Alright, let me just get everything adjusted here. Alrighty, folks. Now, I'm going to lower myself down the seat a little bit here. I'm going to scoot back. I'm just going to bring this here craft up to a hover. A little bit of a hover. And later we're going to pull back on the, we'll pull up on the collective here. Till we get some movement. Alright. Now, in order to get it going straight, we're using the gyro effect here to keep this here craft stable. So we're going to have to counteract the spin by giving it a little bit of rudder to counteract the direction of the spin of the torque of the rotors on the top. Alright. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take off right from here. Alright. Okay, so they're going to have us contact center. Contact Zulu Bravo Whiskey Center on 134.70 Charlie Golf Zulu, Papa, Mike. Alrighty. So now we're going to go ahead and contact that other air traffic controller. Alright, so they're going to put us at 4704 for our transponder code. They're going to have us go up to 3,000 feet. Okay, we got 4704, flight heading 190. Climbing 2000. Alrighty. So we're just going to call it again. Okay, well, I want to get up to our altitude first before we do the heading. I don't like climbing and moving with a helicopter too much. Let me see. And then we're going to, I got it. Now we gotta go to 3,000 now. Alright, 190 is right there. Now this helicopter does not have autopilot. So this can be very exhausting, mentally exhausting thing to do, to fly this helicopter like this. But as you can see, we do not fear a challenge here. What kind of aviators would we be if we feared a challenge now? It doesn't resonate with professionalism, I'll tell you that. Send me, oh, he told me to go, so he said 3,000. Alright, maybe I'm smoking crack or something. So we're going to go back down to 2,000, hitting 190. In order to go down to 2,000, we're going to have to push our collective down. And the reason they call that little bar collective is because it changes the pitch collectively of all the rotors on the top of it. Now this one, unlike the other H-145 that we flew in an earlier video, this is a two-rotor helicopter, which, you know, is good for all intents and purposes, but, you know, I like to have a little bit more security than that on a helicopter because of the chance of a rotor snap. But we're not going in the real sky today. So we're just gonna keep it simple here. Alright, now that I've gotten this stable finally. Alright. I will say one thing about the Bell is that it does seem like a relatively, once you have it stable at least, it seems like a relatively easy helicopter to keep stable. Not all of them are like that, in at least my very short experience on this subject matter. Alright, so we're just going on our little aircraft or air traffic controller director, or directives rather, heading 190, which is going to be about 10 minutes east of 10 minutes east of directly south. Oh shit. Whoopsies. Sometimes I can get sidetracked a little bit. You really gotta be aware on this. You know, if this was a real helicopter, I think I'd probably be knocked out by how fast I'm making these, you know, maneuvers. You know, you gotta think if you're going 100 miles an hour, it's a lot faster you're gonna go in a car. Not to mention you're flying. There's different directions you're gonna be going in. You lose control of that. You're gonna be a projectile on that thing. It's important to keep everything stable. You know, so just good to practice. Apologies. You know what? I'm gonna change the weather around here. Actually, you know what? Let's just. No, I'm going to turn to cold weather this time. That's nice. We'll change the time of year. Let's do it do it at 8 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to just go back to our original location. I'm just going to reset it on this. Reset it in the hangar now. Alright. Hello there, everybody. How are y'all folks doing today? Thank you for joining us on another fabulous video. We're going to be doing a little ASMR narrated plot for y'all. All you got to do is just sit back, relax, and I'll show you ins and outs of flying this here helicopter. It's a Bell 206. That's the shop we're going to be flying today. Now this is GPS. I don't like to keep that on. We're not going very far today. We don't need spotlight. I'm going to put our mixture up to rich. And once we get the rotor spinning, we're going to go ahead and check in with the air traffic controller to see what the altimeter setting is today. Alright. So our engine started. We got our rotor spinning. And RPMs, fuel flow, everything's ideal within range. Alright, so let's reach out to our air traffic controller and see what our altimeter is right now. 2915. So now we're going to set our altimeter 2915. Let's go between 1 and 2 now, you see. We already know that the elevation here at Syracuse International Airport is about 420 feet. So, you know what, I'm going to add a little bit more fuel to this. Why not? Put up to its max gross. Sometimes, at least in this game, I've learned that it kind of increases makes it a little bit easier to control if it's a little bit heavier, especially with a helicopter. Alrighty, folks. Now let's do we got our lights on. We're gonna do Syracuse back to Syracuse for a little touch and go. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna announce all the letters with the phonetic alphabet in this video. So it's gonna be Kilo Sierra Yankee Romeo. And we're gonna do 4,500 feet. And our arrival airport's gonna be Kilo Sierra Yankee Romeo. We end up where we began. Alrighty. Now I want to scoot over a little bit on here. So I want to get a good and nice view of the instrument panel. But we don't need to really get all close to it until we get up in the sky. Alright, so now we need to reach out to our clearance control center or what have you. Of course, they have a goddamn gate hole. When do they not have one? Alrighty, so now I'm just going to do a little hover to get it out of this hangar. You can see that we're actually inside of a hangar right now. These are probably unrealistic to be able to get out of in real life. Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, let's see if we can do it. Alright, now we're pulling up on the collective. That's going to change the pitch on our blades, on our rotors, on the top. We got some dust. Alright, we're getting some lift. Alright, now we don't want to get too high for our taxi. Alright, see how that is there? Alright. So we're a pretty good taxi, going a little bit fast though. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm just going to stop and try to keep it at a good nice little hover right here, just in one place. Alright. See that, folks? Nice and controlled. Exactly what we want. And now since the air traffic control is glitching, we're just going to take off right from here because we're a helicopter and we can do that. Now if you notice that little left, right, that spirit level down there, now what I'm doing here to maintain that within the right range is that's the rudder control. Now we're going to have to reach out to request clearance. They want us to fly 190, climb to 2000, 4704. So we would say heading 190 vectors for the visual 10 up 2000. Charlie Golf Zulu Papa Mike. I kind of forget some of them sometimes, but it's alright, I know. Alright, so now we need to climb up to 2000. Then we need to go to heading 190. Now we're quickly at heading 190. And we're climbing steady. Going about 1,000 feet per minute. That's a good climb. I'm going to pull up on the collective just a smidge to go a little bit faster. And then, as I like to say, as soon as we get up to 2,000, our assigned altitude, we're going to push this here cyclic forward. And what that's going to do is it's going to convert our vertical speed into forward speed. Okay. Now this helicopter, it's a pretty small helicopter, little helicopter. So you don't want to keep it going too fast now. You don't really want to get it. You don't want to keep it near 120 a lot. You want to keep it at about 100. So in order to do that, see, we're going a little bit fast right now, at least faster than I would want to go. Going about 100, but we're going a little bit faster than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the collective down, and when I do that, the helicopter is going to have it's going to make the helicopter want to go down like this, like so, and then we're going to pull back on that cyclic, even it out, and pull that collective back up, and we're exactly almost where I want to be. Okay, a little bit more pitch. All right. Alrighty, folks. We are at a flat 2,000 feet, and we're actually doing really well right here. This one, this is a good one. Makes all the difference in the world having full tank of gas in this thing. Alright. So I'm going to change my view a little bit, because this isn't ideal for me, personally. Alrighty. Also, we can also keep a better look at the heading from this view. We'll go back down to exactly 2,000. That's beautiful. See that? 0, 2,000. Alright, so we're looking good. We're looking really good right now. 0, the vertical speed is 0 for the most part. Our heading is exactly 190. It never varies more than a minute or a couple seconds. We're looking good to go. Speed's not too bad. I want to go a little bit faster here because we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna be doing this forever if I keep going 90 miles an hour. Now to go faster, and I'm not a helicopter pilot in real life or nothing. My dad was. However, not these helicopters, but I'm not gonna speak about what kind of helicopters he flew because, for all intents and purposes, he's dead to me. So, anyways, moving on. So, all right. So I don't know if this isn't coming from the mouths of any like actual pilots other than me, but from what I've learned, if you want to go a little bit faster, you're gonna want to pull the collective up, and then you're gonna want to push the cyclic more forward at the same time because when you pull the collective up, it's gonna make the nose want to go up, and obviously, if you're trying to go forward, you don't want the nose to go up because that's just gonna make you slow down. Because it's gonna naturally make your direction go up. You're gonna go up higher. You're gonna need more lift. So what have you? Drag will increase. Blah blah blah. So see, we're going 100 right now, and we're at about 2,000 feet. 20 almost 2,000 feet. But in order to maintain this here, I want to pause it because I want to show you exactly what we're doing here. Now, if you watch the cyclic, 280, 280. Now you can see the very, very slow movements I'm doing with the cyclic. Those are mirroring my actual movements. So to maintain 2,000 is it? Well, I think the alternative might have changed. Nope. Oh, this guy's just kind of like a very big stickler about the altitude, huh? Alright, so we're at exactly 2,000 feet. We're at heading 280. And we are looking perfect right now, people. I'm gonna have to cancel this IFR, unfortunately, because air traffic control is acting like a freaking moron right now. But we don't need air traffic control to have fun. We're gonna go up to 10,000 feet right now. We're gonna do a little bit of free stuff. Air traffic control sometimes doesn't let us be who we want to be. And we can't have that. Because that's the most important thing in the world. Being who you are. Feeling free to be who you are. I will say it is quite the dreary day on here. And right now I'm just looking for a nice airport to land at. So I'm going a little bit higher. Actually, I'm going a lot higher. I want to see if I can get this puppy up to 10,000 feet right now. If you look down here, that collective is almost all the way up. See, I'm lifting it up higher and higher. Now we're about 60 miles an hour, but I'm going to get a little bit slower. I'm going to convert that like it's the same exact way before how we were converting vertical speed into forward speed. We can convert forward speed into vertical speed as well. All you gotta do is pull up or pull back on the cyclic. If you're going faster than you want to go, you just pull up on the cyclic and then I'll just throw the helicopter way up in the air really fast, and you'll lose your airspeed, and you'll gain a bunch of altitude. Just a little fact for you. Alrighty, people. We're at 7,000 now. I don't know if you've made out there. There's an airport over there in the distance. I can see them right away from here. We're going to get up to about 10,000 feet, and then we're going to go ahead and fly over there. That looks like it's about 10, 15 miles away from us right now. So if we're going, so just to give you a little bit of a time estimate, if we're going 60 miles an hour and it's 10 to 15 miles away, we're going to get there in about 10 or 15 minutes. If we're going 120, we're going to get there in about 7.5 minutes. Now, since this helicopter only goes about 120, we're probably going to get there in about like 9 minutes, which isn't bad time. A lot faster than you'd be in a car. Now, this weather is acting a little bit fussy right now, so we're going to think the wind is changing speeds or something, or changing directions. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to go back to Syracuse International Airport, because I didn't know we were right behind that one. I'd like to take this one up a little bit higher than I take most of them. Now, one thing to remember up here, folks, is that the wind speed is a lot higher than it is at lower altitudes. Now, I don't know exactly why that is, but I'm assuming it has something to do with the pressure in the air, farther away from the Earth's core, or what have you. I don't know. Anyways, having said that, this Bell is a two-rotor helicopter. Doesn't seem like it's very heavy. It's a 200, I'm pretty sure 206 coincides with the engine, how big the engine is, which isn't very big for any vehicle, really, at 206 something. However, and so for that reason, I feel like it wouldn't be as stable at these higher altitudes. Now, I could be wrong about that. Definitely doesn't seem to want to climb more than 9,000 now, does it? No. I think it's this weather that's acting kind of stupid up here, too. Or maybe the cycle or the collective pulled out too, a little bit too. Alright, now that we're at exactly 10,000 feet, that's quite an altitude for this little ass helicopter. But everything looks really beautiful from up here, don't it? No. Sorry about that, people. I get a lot frustrated with this son of a bitch sometimes. Alright, now we're descending. And we're coming in for a landing here. We're gonna land we're gonna end up in the exact same hangar that we took off in. It's gonna be really exciting. We're coming in a little hot now though. So we're gonna want to slow down. At least slow down our airspeed. Our descent not so much. Obviously we're not affected by the G-force as this is a game. But I do want to keep it as realistic as possible. Just give it a little bit more lift right here. Help it out a little bit. Give it a little bit of a table. Alright. Here we go. No, wait, redlining there with the speed now. Alright, now we're at 6,000 feet. I'm going to come to a dead stop right here. Now we're 60, 50, 40, 30. I realize what I said about the cyclic pull-up until you get to a complete stop. Now we're going backwards a little bit. Whoopsies. But we can actually descend and be going and our speed be 0. That's how I like to descend, to be honest with you. At least in a helicopter. You can't do that in an airplane, obviously. Right now we're down to 5,500 or 4,500. And we're descending at about 2,000 feet per minute. 4,200, 41, and we're at 4,000 now. I'm going to want to start heading over to the airport now since we're getting good altitude. I think we might intersect if we get the right speeds going. Alright. I'm going to pull the collective up a little bit. I need a little bit more lift for this approach. Alright. One thing I do love, and this is always something I've loved about flying, is there's a lot of power you feel when you fly right over the road and see all these cars. There's just something to be said about the feeling of power that gives you. You know, it's like you're beating traffic. They're stuck down there on the road. We're flying right over them. Something just feels good about that. You feel like you figured something out. Alright, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Instrument panel's not so important since this is a landing. Still is, you want to see what altitude you're at. And when you're hovering down to sea level, to all the way down to the ground to land, you generally want to be paying attention to solely the instruments because you want to keep an eye on your vertical speed. You don't really want to hit the ground at anything above 500 feet per minute. You want to keep it as close to 0 feet per minute as you possibly can. Obviously, there's no such thing as a descent 0 feet per minute. That's just a hover, but you catch what I mean. Alright, see, that's the very same hangar we started off in. Now we're going to have to back up a little bit. Alright, kind of a little bit of a rough approach. Alright, now we want to... This is always a tricky part for me, personally. Is getting this thing to a dead stop before we bring it down to its final touchdown. I want to just get a good little hover first. See, I want to touch the ground. Then needle should barely be below 0 when I touch the ground. Like that. That's exactly what we need. And we are safe and sound on the ground, people. And that sums it up for this flight today. Apologies for that. If there was any noise. So now we're going to turn off our fuel valve. That's going to shut off the engine. Gauges are going down. Turn off the battery, generator, spotlight. And what I've recently learned about is this helicopter doesn't have a rotor brake. But what you can do is you can use the air as a rotor brake. Pulling back on the collective, pulling up on the collective. That's going to increase the resistance. That's going to increase the air resistance because it's going to make the air or the blades they're pitch more towards flat, which is going to slow them down. And all right. And now let's look at the replay for the landing here, people. Now we're going to do it. You see, we're relatively stable. I just want to really get to the landing. Alright, now you can see how we were doing our approach. Coming in nice and smooth. You know what I could do to the side leg? Just give you an idea of how subtle these movements have to be. Now if you notice over here, this here is a collective. That button says GOV, that means that's another thing for the throttle governor.
Told Robin said in bold, like, caps, what the fuck? So you know whose side she's on when she's saying that.
Yeah, really. Alright people, now if you stuck around for the replay, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel, and that's another piece from Align with Yourself. And come back again. Enjoy the next video. Y'all have a